Alex Chamberlain, noted indie wrestler. He's traveled all over the place, around the world. Also involved in Florida Super Championship Wrestling, which is a little different. It's part of Florida Supercon and Supercon Retro here at the Miami Airport Convention Center. And it's just a different type of wrestling show. So, Alex, tell us what it's all about, and then reaction you're even getting from fans and other wrestlers.
Sure. I mean, the show itself, for me, I've been wrestling over 10 years now, and I can easily say that I have more fun doing this particular show as a character, as a professional wrestler. Like, this is the most fun you'll have. It's funny. You travel all over you travel everywhere. You get to do these shows in front of all these fans, and then you get to do this here, and you get to throw on a cool costume. You get to be a crazy character like from your childhood, and you get to be that person. It's awesome.
And those characters are basically from
comics, video games, movies, pop culture, like anything like that. Like, if you want to see like Mario versus, say, the Punisher, we make it happen. If you want to see, Chun-Li versus like Solomon Grundy, like, we try to make it happen. It's cool too because, like, I have a lot of buddies who are very well established, like Brian Cage from Lucha Underground, all these guys who constantly call me up and like, how do I do this? How do you be part of this? This is so much. It looks like so much fun. And some of the guys we bring in are from like different parts of the U.S. or they'll travel down here just to do this show because they know how much fun we've had. Because of stories, we've had Hurricane Helms did the show a few times, and he says the most fun he's ever had doing wrestling shows because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely, like, you don't have to take it seriously. You're just out here to have fun, and fans go nuts for it.
Because it portray your character. From the comic books, from the video games, things like that.
That's what it's all
more
about
that than the moves.
Right.
itself.
That's what makes this such a different style of wrestling. You go and watch a Supercon wrestling, their matches in terms of wrestling, like the psychology of wrestling, they don't make sense. There is no really physical story. They want to see a character. They want to see the character's ability. They want to see, your Superman. They want to see you try to, maybe fly off the top rope or maybe lift someone over your head. Like, that's what they care about. They don't care if you have an awesome headlock or a really cool kick. Like, that doesn't matter. They pop more for. I would, like I said, when I was doing Captain America, I would get more of a pop just bringing out the shield and using it to stop like Green Arrow's arrow than I ever did doing like a crazy bump. So it's nice on the body too, because you don't have to do as much, definitely.
And even like Michael Kingston's here, the creator of Headlocked, the comic book, and so many wrestlers are into comics. They're writing stories, they're doing artwork coming out. Kaz and Daniels have their own comic book.
I saw that,
So that also, I would guess, also lends to this whole Comic-Con experience that so many of the wrestlers. Xavier Woods is another one too.
Yeah, he used to come to these shows. I remember when Xavier first got signed he was still in the FSCW program, and it just transitioned to NXT. He would still come down here before he was on the road full time and just hang out in the back while we did the Supercon shows. And he was like, and you could tell he had the itch so bad. He'd be like, "Oh man, I could just throw on a Power Rangers outfit and just throw a mask on. I could go out." And we're like, he's like, "But like they'd fire me in an instant if they found out. Like, it would get online." But yeah, he used to sit up there and he was like itching to do this because he like saw how fun it was. It's cool now because now that comics are so like mainstream and such a part of American culture now, like even more so than ever.
All the movies that have come out.
God, it's such a multi-billion-dollar industry. So it's funny how, when I was younger, comics weren't exactly the most popular thing in the world, but now it's like every dude is into comics or they were into something, sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek, or some deal like that, and then they get to come here and then do this stuff. So it'll be cool to see the roster expand and we get more guys. I think the July one's gonna be a blast. We're gonna get like a lot, maybe some big names in here to play some characters and have some fun.
That'll be Florida Supercon in July. That's their big show of the year.
27th to the 30th.
But where can people go, Alex, to find out about not just Florida Supercon, but also FSCW, Florida Super Championship Wrestling?
Florida Super Championship Wrestling on Facebook. That's a super active page. I'll have all the updates, everything. Pretty sure they're putting together an Instagram too. So they do a lot of photos over the weekend. So I think you're going to start seeing that roll out. But right now, Facebook, Florida Super Championship Wrestling is going to be the way to find out all your information about next shows, the next dates, and also the Supercon page will also be keep updating that as well. So Supercon, FloridaSupercon.com, and Florida Supercon Facebook page, and Instagrams and Twitters. So.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Oh, thank you, man.
Official. Here we go. What do you guys? How do you guys select the character you're going to play? And is there someone that you also want to play that you haven't portrayed yet for this event?
Actually, I was just told I would play Arrow, so which is fine because I like Green Arrow. If I had to pick another one, I'd probably do Star-Lord. I think that would be fun from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, we have a really good team of people who kind of analyze every person who they are going to be putting on the show, and they basically kind of put out, they go, all right, hey, so how do you feel about being character X? You know, we feel like your physicality or your mannerisms or how you are in the ring or your personality really matches up well with how they are. For example, I'm a very outgoing, very loud, very energetic person. So they chose Batroc Ze Leaper for me, who's a very loudmouth, trash-talking French mercenary. It's a bit, not too much of a portrayal. Before I was Deadpool, a lot of running my mouth, a lot of running around, jumping around like a lunatic. So it's a little bit of the same, but at the same time it's something different because I'm not breaking the fourth wall. I'm swinging a baguette and a French flag. But our guys here, they basically come up with the best possible matchups. Who we're going to use, who would they be best as? We'll pick, okay, we need to have a big guy. Who's this big guy going to be? Obviously, we're going to have the big guy be Bane. We're going to have him be a big, strong guy. We're going to have, you know, someone who's a little bit on the chubby side. Oh, look, we got Mario. Perfect. They do a really good job, and I haven't seen anyone cast here in FSCW who didn't fit their character so far.
Yeah, I mean, for me it's different. Like, I've never actually read a comic book before, or any book. So John just have a comic character. I'm sorry. So for me it's totally different. That's why I asked about your sword, which is apparently not a sword but a lightsaber. So this is a totally new environment for me. It's pretty cool. And like I like the movies; those are good. But the actual like learning like a comic character and I had to go to
all those letters following each other.
So I went on. Well, no, here's the thing. I went on YouTube, and they have these videos where they read the books for you, and they just tell you what happens, and they show you the pictures. So I did that. And
follow along that way.
It's a lot easier.
Like top to bottom, left to right.
Right. Just they cut out the middleman, they cut out the boring parts, and they basically tell you what you need to know. So that's good. If I could play another character, I like that one from that movie that everybody saw. You know, that really popular movie with the good-looking guy. That's what I would do.
You mean Moonlight?
Right.
No, Moonlight.
Moonlight. Sure.
Yep. Working microphone. Ish.
There we go. Yeah, with these characters, you know, it's a pretty cool selection process. Like you know, John was saying, we try to make sure like the guys who are selected kind of embody somewhat of the spirit of the character they're playing, really the physical looking and personality wise. Like before the hair and the beard, I did Captain America for the first few years. Yeah, I think you remember. And now I get to do the Skeletor thing. That was really cool. That's how I had a lot of fun with Cap, but this is actually one of the cooler ones because I get to be the villain for the first time doing this, and it's a lot more fun when you're the bad guy. So I get to have a little bit more liberty with the action.
I think whoever planned that, though, I was told some of the females are a little upset because they think that Alex is good looking, and by covering his face in the Skeletor mask, you're denying the female fans what they paid good money to see. So maybe next time, something without a mask for you. They covered my face too, which is just
Travesty.
Sorry to self-promote myself in this area, but I have a panel, Art of Professional Wrestling, tomorrow, Saturday morning, 11:30, room 113.
I bought your comic book. So good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, in part of that question, now, how important is it for you to emerge as a certain character, whether you're playing demonic creature up from hell or Evil-Lyn or Harley Quinn or any character based on pop culture? Influence on pop culture.
How influential is it on like our style?
On character-wise and
On character-wise and style? Okay. You guys have any answers for that? I mean, I have an answer. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll go ahead and start answering, and then y'all can like chime in. Like, well, my gimmick outside of here is pretty much what this is. I'm a cosplay wrestler. So every time I do a character, I actually become that character. So let's say I'm doing Chun-Li, I want to be doing a lot more kicks than I would be if I was doing someone like Evil-Lyn. Because Evil-Lyn's more magic-based, you know, so you have to think outside the box and be more of like what would an enchantress do. Whereas Harley Quinn, she's known for her flexibility and her dexterity. So her offense was going to be way more fast-paced based as opposed to maybe someone like Vixen, who might channel an elephant or a rhino or a boar or a gorilla. Like, but even her character, she does a cheetah, you know what I mean? Like, maybe she'll pick up a guy who's like 200 pounds, but then channel a cheetah. And then, so especially for this wrestling, you want to embrace that character and bring it to life. We're not Sue Young, she's Evil-Lyn, when we're doing the actual characters. You guys have anything to narrate with that?
Yeah, when I first started, I started here, and then they asked me, hey, can you learn how to wrestle so we can use you more? And then for the 2 years that FSCW didn't exist, I had to think of my own character to be for CCW, and I had no idea what to do with myself. Like, I could cut a promo for anybody else except for Angel Crush, and I had no idea what to do. And then my trainer saw a Clockwork Orange, fell in love with the Droogs, and was like, hey, how do you and these two guys feel about being the Droogs? I was like, I love cosplay wrestling, that's the whole reason why I started, and I just thought, since I became the manager for them, I was like, okay, if Lana and Paul Heyman had an English baby, how would she be like the evil manager for the Droogs? So now I can, when you tell me, okay, you're going to be this person, it's so much easier than trying to think of, okay, what's myself amplified, especially when you have so much going on in your personality and you got to lock on one thing.
Well, throughout my whole life, I grew up around pop culture because growing up, you know, one of my favorite pastimes was watching TV with my dad about wrestling. So I emulated a lot of encouragement from embracing my weird side, I guess you can say, through wrestling, through comics, through cartoons, through movies, and I feel like with everybody here, we all kind of have the same kind of background, but at the same time, we're all unique and special in our own ways, and that's why when we all come together, it's like, oh my goodness. So every time I'm at a wrestling show or at a Comic-Con, I always notice, and I'm like, how cool is everyone here? It feels like a big party every time I come around, and every time, especially when I'm around these girls, like, I'm around my best friends, so anytime I get a chance to actually embrace this side of the world, it feels like a world that, especially in such a closed-minded area of the world that we're in, where there's a lot of segregation, there's a lot of racism, sexism, everything. To be in a place where you can actually go and be yourself is probably one of the coolest things, and I think, you know, having that kind of encouragement from other people that have the same common interest really makes us all smile at the end of the day, and I think that's what I look forward to more than anything else, and what has me embrace those sides to my characters. If that helps out a little bit.
Perfect.
Doing the women's tournament. What are you like, yay, women's wrestling, or
and the state.
What are your thoughts on the tournament that's going to come up? Whether you're a part of it or not, you don't have to talk about that. Just
and also the state of women's wrestling
the
today
state
as well.
of women's wrestling.
Do you guys want to go first? You can go first.
I think that this women's tournament is going to be amazing. We already saw what the Cruiserweight Classic did for the lucky gentlemen that were a part of that. So I believe that if WWE, you know, like I say, they span the globe and they find the best and not just like cookie cutter, but just some outrageous people that you've never heard of, you know, type of things, and they bring them into like Full Sail. I think it's going to be amazing. I think we're going to see some standouts. We're going to see some people we've never, you know, seen before, see some things we've never seen before, and I think it's going to be wonderful. And as far as women's wrestling right now, it's amazing. There is some talent out there, kind of like Angel Rose here, who is just like, this girl is everything. And but I believe that women's wrestling, we're at a time now where people have been grinding for 10 plus years. They're finally getting that break. I think this is the magical time. There are people who were looked over, who constantly stayed humble. They're finally getting their shot, and that's what I love. People who deserve, it's a bad terminology, but people who have they've sweated, they have blood, sweat, and tears. They're in this business for the right reasons. They're doing it for the right reasons. They're not somebody's whatever. They're not dating whomever. They're doing it, you know, with their skin and their nails, and they're gritting and grunting through to get to the top. Those women are getting those opportunities, finally. And I love it. That's where we're at, and I think that's where we should stay.
I grew up watching Lita and Trish Stratus, like the first girls that actually wrestled, and it wasn't about bra and panties matches. And now the girls that would have not had a chance, like girls who maybe aren't, you know, competitive bikini model body types, or girls who are covered in tattoos, you know, they're not going to be, you know, turned away just because of the way they look. Now it's actually going to be based upon their skill, whether or not, you know, they're marketable. And now, since there's such a diverse crowd watching wrestling, now that there are girls who are heavily tattooed, girls who are even like bigger girls, or, you know, jacked bigger girls, swole girls, or even, you know, itty bitty girls, even if, you know, they're not worried about, oh, well, you don't look like a Maxim model, so sorry. Now everyone's getting an even chance, and it's going to be based upon their actual skill set and what they can actually do in the ring.
I'm so scared to get on this mic right now.
Well, here, are you good? So, yeah, we're good. So, the WWE is having a women's tournament coming up, and they released it on press. Everybody around here has definitely been asked about it. In my opinion, I think that this is an amazing pivotal moment for women's wrestling in general, especially with the WWE, when they, it goes back to the days when they're like, oh, women wrestlers will never main event. Women wrestlers will never. Well, guess what? We're putting a stop to that. Will never, ever exist in our vocabulary, because any kind of negativity with women's wrestling will not exist. And it's not going to be women's wrestling. It's just going to be wrestling. We're going to be notified and seen just as our equal counterparts, where any of us can face, I don't want to go so cold on everybody, but we can face anybody in this ring and have the, you know, unimaginable, unthought of experiences happen. Just like when Sable powerbombed Monroe right in the ring, anything can happen. So whenever I hear people talk about women's wrestling, I get very passionate about it, because it's something that we're all in, and, you know, things that we've been fighting for. And I've always felt that in wrestling, nothing's ever deserved, because honestly, wrestling doesn't come back to you. Everyone loves it the same way. But if you earn your spot and everyone can see your true colors, that's where you're gonna stand, that's where you're gonna fly. And there's always a place for anybody in this, always. So anytime anyone says anything to anyone, whether it be in cosplay, wrestling, any kind of anything, if someone puts a hold to you, that's them putting something over on you. But you can do anything you want to do. And with this shown that there will be a tournament, it's going to be amazing. And I think a lot of fans are going to be very mind blown with the degree of different talents and different people in that ring. So definitely watch out for it.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was beautiful, man.
What I think is as time progresses and people evolve, so does the state of wrestling. As human beings, our mind expand and we start accepting. Like think about like the beginning of the 1900s, women didn't have many rights. You know, minorities did not have many rights. And as time progressed, they got the rights. It's no different than the state of wrestling when it was a male-dominated sport. And now as time progresses and people evolve and grow, so does the state of wrestling. So I think pretty much anytime you ask about women and the fact of the direction where we're going, I think it's because we as a species are finally able to accept that women could be on an equal playing ground as men. Anybody else? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Angel Rose. By the way, Angel, who are you playing tonight?
Well, I'll be playing the role of Mileena. So, be afraid, yeah. Fatality, nobody's safe. So, fight! Real quick, you guys are all phenomenal, and it takes like a special group of people to all like come from like the same place, like deep down inside, you know what I mean? We all share the same passion and love for this business. So we did, and I'm pretty sure neither of us would be sitting here. So I'm actually really excited for the women's tournament in WWE because I feel like lately they've been giving you little doses of what women can really do. And this is just like a bigger stage, a bigger platform to show you, to give you variety. I'm pretty sure not all the girls are gonna look the same. Like what we were used to for the past, I don't know, 10 years, you know, that era where, like she said, everybody had to be, what, 5'7", 5'8", blonde, brunette, whatever, just, you know, the same, pretty much cookie cutter image, you know what I mean? And like she said, I'm hoping for variety, you know, people from all over the globe, you know, people from Australia, the UK, Mexico, Japan, you name it. And yeah, they're just gonna put women, you know, on the map. And like Sue said, it's not gonna be women's wrestling after this. Hopefully, it's just gonna be wrestling in general. And there's no, you know, like shaded area. It's all just one love. That's it. So I'm excited. Hope everybody else is too.
I am. Thanks for the question, man.
To top on top of what you said, that not everyone's going to look the same. There's so many different varieties. I mean, look at us right now. Look at this group right here. I mean, it's pretty. You can't get much more diverse than this. You have Hispanic, Asian, blonde, black, blue. You know? Blue's my favorite. So, anyone else have a question?
You're my boy, Blue.
Everyone would goof on me for looking like an anime character because I got gigantic eyes and a tiny chin. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my hair in pigtails, I'm gonna wear a Hello Kitty shirt, yell at people in Japanese, and just be as cute as I could possibly be. And I always thought how cool it'd be to have an anime made after you. So I became Angel Crush, the living anime or the living doll, and I just skip around the ring, wearing my little Hello Kitty shirt, being the cutest little goth I could be.
For me, I had to learn what was legal and illegal to do. So I found a way to get old wedding dresses off of people, and I keep them for myself. That's pretty much it.
True story.
True story.
Not even kidding. True story.
We're not going to go into details on how I get these wedding dresses, but I'll tell you, they're from other people.
You don't want it.
So, it's pretty much a gist of it. And as far as my gear, I
wear my clothes like I still go to school and I still have my clothes from the 3rd grade, and that's pretty much how it goes.
That's the truth.
Well, my wrestling gear, I went through a lot of different gear before I actually felt comfortable in something, you know, that I was like, you know, comfortable in. So I was talking to my feline friend, Lindsay Dorado, who so happened to make my gear and help kind of design it. So yeah, it was pretty much, it came from, I mean, I gave him the color scheme and he you know, gave me the patterns, put it together, so it was all his work. I just wear it. That's pretty much it.
And then I cosplay, so it's different every time. The thing is though, I can't just go and do like full armor cosplay or cosplay that isn't wrestlable, so a lot of times I have to change up maybe a way something fits, the way the actual design of it, just so I can actually wrestle in it. So sometimes it's like cosplay, but it's wrestling cosplay, because yeah, I'm not gonna go out as Belle with a big bulk out, you know what I mean? It'll be like probably a short version of it, just so I can still kick people in the face.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because, like, you probably have the coolest outfits out of everybody. And it's kind of weird to think about it because technically we're all in our underwear. So, just to be honest, like, we're all just running around in our underwear and you guys allow it. Thank you guys for allowing us to be this way. So, thank you guys. So, to you guys. To you.